Learning history through playing games is, by all accounts, a very, very good idea, especially for people like me who are actually pretty rubbish at history. And let's face it, historical games do have a very special place in an awful lot of hearts. Sigismundus Augustus wants to be one of those games. It comes from Poland, it's a game for 3 to 5 people, and it promises to be really good. But that's so far all it promises, because we don't know what's inside the box. So now we're going to take a look inside and see if actually the contents are worth the amount of money that you would have to pay to get your hands on it. Welcome to the GMS Magazine unboxing videos. Educational games are really difficult to get right, and more often than not, let's face it, they're kind of boring. So historical games have a double challenge. They have to be really good games, but actually they have to be good at the history that they're meant to be talking about. Sigismundus Augustus, De Gratia Rex Poloniae. I can't remember very well about my Latin, but something to do with Poland's king. It's one of those games. It comes from a Polish company that I'm going to try to say the name. Fundacja Niepodległości. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that. I apologize. It comes from Poland, which is a country with a much, much greater tradition for board games than you can imagine. So what's inside the box is not very heavy. I'm not expecting a huge amount of components in this one, but I'm hoping they're going to be really nice. The rules book, following the same design as the board, which is absolutely fine by me. And we find firstly what appears to be the Polish rules. And the English rules. And I believe these are the German rules. Correct. Okay, so looking at the rules, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages of rules. That's not too bad, and I can already see 1, 2 examples, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not bad. That sounds pretty good. The setup of the game seems to be quite complex. It has 14 steps. That either means that the game is going to be very complicated, or that they have had everything in one single bullet point to make sure that you don't miss a thing. Either way. The policy cards, there are 12 different of them. So everything seems to be well laid out in the sense of the amount of things and the order in which you have to do things. So that is actually quite encouraging. For me, that's a very good thing, because I shy away from games that have an awful lot of political intrigue and goodness knows how many options. So from that point of view, this doesn't scare me at all, which is quite nice. The fact that the game is meant to have just a few pages means that it should be fairly approachable, which is also very good. So far, this is quite encouraging. I like it. And the quality of the printing, the quality of the paper is okay. There's nothing, wonderful about it, but it is what you would expect from some rules. So so far so good. The tokens, double-sided, quite a few of them. Oops, here comes one. A wee bit on the thin side. I wish they were a little bit, just a bit thicker than this. Not because I fear that these are going to break. I think they will probably last. They're quite solid, quite rigid, sorry. But because to pick it up from the table may be a bit more complicated, difficult if you don't have nails, thicker or easier to hold and to grasp. But that aside, I like the icons. Not sure about these, not sure about those, not sure about those. because the line of the work, of the artwork, is a bit on the thin side, so it's not easy to see, and I can imagine under certain light conditions not being very easy to discern what's on these tokens, what the icons are. Now, of course, because you have different colors, you know that all the icons are going to be the same. But if you wanted to have expansions for this game in the same color, then you're going to be running into difficulties. So that is one that I will look into a little bit. But other than that, I mean, they're clear enough. They come out from the board easily enough, which is good. So no complaints there. Very easily enough. Now these, again the same thing, they're a bit on the BC side. These are meant to be coins. So they're not all that easy to read, but they're easy enough to know what they are. So that's okay. These tokens, again, finish, nice printing, nothing amazing about them, nothing bad about them either. And that's it for the tokens, not very many. Which that is not a bad thing, by the way. It's just that it doesn't need many tokens. It's fine. Could be worse. The board. You know, I really like this board. Not because in terms of design has anything that's really incredible about it and is going to win any awards in graphic design, but because everything is so clear. Cleverly enough, and I'm hoping this is cleverly enough, they have taken most of the text off the board to make it as language transparent as possible. That way you don't need to know Polish to know and be translating what's in there. Of course, that also has the risk of how are you going to remember what every part of the board is all about if you don't have any labels to figure it out. That, I guess, it will be found out when you play the game. But regardless, it's a very simple board, nice graphics, nicely done. I quite like it. Some people may consider it to be boring. I don't. I think this actually is quite a nice looking little board. So that's fine. Good. I like it. The quality of the board is fine. No complaints from that point of view. Very good lining. Great. Now, let's get the sore point out of the way. I'm going to be really to the point with these ones. Yuck. Big, mega yuck. I'm sorry, but what's this? I don't like this at all. I really don't like this at all. These are just cheap plastic tokens to put on the board or whatever. And yes, they're easy to grab. They're not meeples, which is fine. But seriously, they don't go at all with the art direction, with the whole feel of the game. They don't look like anything that I would envisage being related to the historic importance of the events that take place in the game. And they are plain ugly, and they look damn cheap. I know this game is going to be launched at Essen, and I really sincerely am begging they have the time to change this and have something better. And if they cannot, and if you're going to buy this game and they cannot do that, find a replacement, because I'm sorry, but these are very disappointing. They look absolutely hideous. I don't like them at all. It's the only thing about this game that I am categorically disliking. Aside. Oh, the dice are just cheap dice. You may want to, again, get another two, because they're just two normal standard D6s. There's nothing special about them. Oh, 6. All right, the cards. They're not laminated. They're a little bit on the thin side. So you have to be careful when you play with them. I would advise sleeving them. But we have here, again, nice illustrations, which is good. They have nicely enough made sure that they don't have much words, many words in them. So the whole thing is language independent, which is good. The icons, again, they are quite clear, quite easy to see, which is nice. And the illustrations are quite okay, which is lovely. Double-sided. Different decks. Faces. And I want to take a look at the portraits, because the portraits are absolutely excellent. The artwork is superb, absolutely superb. And this I was not expecting to find. Seriously, I was not. Oh, look at that. The expression is just absolutely fantastic. I don't know if they are by the same artist, but good work from the art direction point of view, because all of them feel very cohesive, which is very nice indeed. And another deck of cards, which I'm expecting them to be the same. Yeah. Same quality. The art differs a bit more in this from one to another. Let me turn that around. Anything which is also good, anything that's been written, it's been in both Polish, German and English, or in Latin. Overall, I am really happy with the game. The only two things that I would query and question is those tokens, though. No, they're just absolutely horrible. I'm sorry, but they just are absolutely hideous. And I hope they're going to have the chance to change them between now and release. The other thing I would question is the size of the box. Considering that there are so few of these components, you know, a few cards, a few tokens, and a board, I wonder if they wouldn't have done better by halving the size of the box and making the board into 4 parts instead of 2, to keep the whole thing a bit trimmed down, easier to transport and cheaper to produce as well. That would have given it a bit more flexibility. But hey, that's one thing for the company to decide and to do whatever they want with it. I don't particularly mind that, the size, but I comfier to do it in a smaller kind of box. I am really happy with this. I was, because of the person who sent me this game from Piotr Zukowski, I was quite hoping that it was going to be a really nice game, and I am not disappointed at all. Yes, a few things here and there that should be sorted. Those tokens must be changed, please. But other than that, I am looking forward to seeing this game doing really well in Essen. Yeah, congratulations for that. Really, really well done. Thank you.